everybody, you've reached Alasha from High Voltage. Oh, I can't believe that it is Wednesday, October the 15th of 2025. Oh gosh, it's approximately between 10 and 10:30 Ontario time. My name is Lasha Ryenko, and the channel is called High Voltage. At present, I do not have access to my iPhone to conduct a live. Thus, when those technical situations happen, I put on my older-ish 3-year-old computer wherein I do not know how to edit or upload a picture. However, at nighttime, this is just analog, raw, old baby booner, baby booner, baby booner, baby boonerish. A 54-year-old baby boomer just talking into analog and my thoughts on Charlie Kirk. And I'll be honest with you, as the camera is closed and you can't see me, if you want to know what I look like, sort of the face behind the voice, you can find various looks on the channel. That is for sure. Okay, I just really truly want to start off with uh, if anybody read my description. Um, Sorry, I'm just looking at the comments here. Hi, Trevor. How are you? Yes, we will do that. So, Trevor, I'm just really trying to concentrate on what my thoughts are. So, everybody, Trevor is the manager of the channel, and he is uh, my brother from another mother. He is so highly intelligent, and he has plans to become president. And he's not remotely serious, or sorry, he's not remotely joking in any way. He's very, very serious. He's studying political science in the future, and his channel is called Trevor's Infinite Horizons. And Trevor and I love to do collaborations and talk about these subjects. So, Trevor also knows that I love to concentrate on what I'm talking about. However, right now I need to keep my eyes closed. So, Trev, if anybody comes online, as you know, would you mind doing what you do best, which is communicating, building rapport, and filling everybody in on what the heck I'm talking about? So, Trevor and I were actually talking today, 2 days ago, and we were talking a few hours ago in reference to talking. And speaking of talking and talking points, we're going to be talking about, Trevor, what is it called? America. Oh, Turning Point USA. Charlie Kirk. Trevor and I were talking today, and he said, and he had a great point, people that are in the limelight, okay, many people pass away, people have been unalived, people, you know, that weren't Charlie Kirk. Maybe they were not part of Turning Point USA and they were an average Joe. like myself. Um, all lives matter. However, there's something about the Charlie Kirk assassination I've never seen before, and there's so many different aspects to this, it just can't even be real. You know, back in the day, the Pentagon used to be part of Hollywood, and they would fund certain movies to get government messages out. I remember saying to my mother, why is it that Hollywood movies always seem to come true? I.e., Contagion from 2012 with Matt Damon and Gwyneth Paltrow. It was just awful. And then COVID hit, almost identical, but thank God we didn't lose, you know, three-quarters of the population on the planet. And then you look at that movie Blindness with Mark Ruffalo and Julianne Moore, and the way people will treat each other when all people are in the same boat. It's always survival of the fittest. It's been that way since the dawn of time. And what's interesting about the dawn of time, and segueing into that particular ecosystem, as it were, Charlie Kirk and the relationship that he had with Jesus. These are not my words. I'm paraphrasing research, um, reading from the Daily Beast, Washington Post, New York Times, um, various podcasts, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, you name it. I've listened to it all, and I've really come to my own conclusion. And Elon Musk, and God, and love, and YouTube. It's very, 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 very convoluted. Life is convoluted. It's mysterious. It's dark. It's happy. It's beautiful. It's innocent. And then when innocence is taken away, there's destruction, calamity, heartache, distrust. And the more people are bitten and bitten and bitten and bitten, and the lower people feel about themselves, the angrier and the angrier and the angrier and the angrier people will get, because they're hurt. It's like taking an innocent puppy, and I can't even say what you all know I'm thinking, and that innocent puppy turns into a vicious animal because of abuse. And right now, we're all being abused. All of us. Collectively, we're being abused spiritually, financially, by the very people that are supposed to protect us from a micro level in households and from a macro level in community and government. I'm not going into my tale of corruption. When you look at what happened with Charlie Kirk, has Taylor Robinson confessed? I don't know. And the one part the news outlets left out was that they say the father turned him in. Well, there was a reward, and I can't remember if it was for $100,000 or $1 million. I'm paraphrasing. So the father turns the son in for the money because it looks like his son. I wouldn't be surprised, because one thing I've learned about family is money can tear families apart when it's unnecessary. And when people are hurt and they ruminate and they're isolated, they can become, quote, radicalized. But why are all of these, quote unquote, shooters all white male? Why? They're all white male. Because if it's a woman's world and you're lucky to be, uh, what is it? It's a woman's world and you're lucky to be living in it. You know, I was thinking about incidences, and I'll get into Charlie Kirk, but just everyday life. If you think about your life and incidences that occur, whether you just came out of a bad relationship, or you lost a job, or you lost a spouse, or maybe you just met somebody, or maybe a relationship is growing. At the end of the day, all that matters and all we can control is right here, right now, who's in our life. Because all the chatter and all the talk about politics and Donald Trump and everything that's going on, please, could somebody tell me what good all of these debates are doing? You know, I really think that Charlie Kirk was a martyr. I really do. And, Eric Kirk and Charlie Kirk put up this front, and she was talking in her big, you know, this was supposed to be a memorial. And this comedian said, I went there to cry, dude. I went there to cry. And then I'm watching this and I'm going, what the blank is this? She's laughing and she's looking up into the sky. Charlie, Charlie. And I thought of this too. The way she fell into Trump's arms were so weird, okay? This is a woman, allegedly, where her father worked in the military, or her mother did, and her father worked with part of the Israeli Mossad or something. And she was in the Miss Arizona pageant. And who used to own the Miss Arizona pageants but Donald Trump? Okay. And now you have Eric Trump coming on television talking about this new book he has and how his father was wrongfully indicted 99 times. Like the Democrats have any power at all. So Eric Trump is screaming indictments, but Donald Trump is the president and nothing's going to happen to him. And he's corrupt as what he called Crooked Hillary. That was an actual projection of what he thought of himself. If you look at their behavior, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton used to be friends, but they're so much alike, they could not even shake hands in 2016. And that was like 9 years ago, going on a decade in 2 months, 3 months. And when you think about deaths with spouses, statistically, when a spouse dies, who's the first person that they usually look into? The spouse. So, and then I was thinking about how Donald Trump is president, and I was thinking about how Trevor, in this one short that got almost 3,000 views for 1 minute, of this young man that's going into political science talk about the ideologies and theology in reference to what a role model and a president should be. And we've got the States has an orange orangutan that had sex with porn stars. We had Bill Clinton, and poor Monica Lewinsky was 20 years old. Barbara Walters was just absolutely horrid to her, in my opinion. And everything is crazy, and the news cycle goes so quickly. And that's what Trevor was saying. But why is this quote unquote assassination continuing on and on and on? Because Tyler's a pansy. Do you think the Trumps are going to let anybody be involved in their dynasty? No. Too many gunsmen have been debating the fact, like JFK, whether it really did come from the front or the back. The FBI and Kash Patel are not releasing the full footage. They're just showing the footage of Tyler going on and off of the roof. And I remember when I first saw the footage, before Ken Solons even said anything, I thought, my God, looks like two different people. So what I'm saying is, and if you look at my footage, you'll understand why I don't trust the surgeons, okay? Trust your friends. Build a family around yourself. There's more of us than them. And all we ever do is debate about it. But what is anybody really doing about it? What do we do about anything? I tried so hard with this channel, and I actually give up now because I just honestly realize that some people are just talk, 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 no action. And it's a really annoying. And at least Charlie Kirk tried to create some sort of change. Love him, hate him, feel nothing. At least he tried to stand up for his beliefs, which is more than I can say about myself. So who are we to criticize? Eric Kirk is banned from Romania because her and her mother had an orphanage. It's a fact. And this comedian said, Andrew Tate is mayor of Romania. Who gets banned from Romania? And the punchline was, she started as an employee and ended up the boss or the owner, whatever. And Donald Trump, you know what? She went in for an interview. It's these marriages. It's like Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. They're just as corrupt as Melania and Donald Trump. We have a president. You've got a president who used to talk on Howard Stern, and the first lady and him were talking about how great their sex life was. And that's the model of our society today. I can't even stand a love scene anymore. And now men are addicted to porn. And people are talking about immigrants doing damage when all of the shootings are done by white males. So, you know what? That's what I wanted to say tonight. Those are my thoughts. These are all of my opinions. I just wanted to get that off my chest because I was listening to Elon Musk, and when you read between the lines of what he was saying, he was talking about entity and forces and blah, 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 blah. He really does sound like he's from outer space, you know. And if somebody can convince me that the pyramids were built by slaves over thousands and thousands of years, no, 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 no. There must have been other beings in the universe that were here before us. There must have been. Because the thought of there being a God is beautiful thought, you know. Some days I really believe it. And then I was thinking, okay, I want to believe in that. And then I was thinking about the study of religion and how Charlie Kirk was reading different Bibles that were edited by different presidents. Like, and it's always men who write history, not women. An eyewitness testimony is reliant now as it was then. And nobody wrote about Jesus for how many years. So I'm very confused because Elon Musk seems like an alien to me. Anyways, that's all I can say. And I hope all of you have a great night. Um, I'm going to think about what I just said and what I can do and what Trevor and I can do to make a difference. What do you think, Trevor? I think that's a great idea. I think that's a great idea about doing a review and what they added. And also, you know what? Going in our local obituaries and going to our local graveyards and finding out these people's stories because so many people lived and everybody has a story to tell, not just people that are the shareholders and running the world and Charlie Kirk's donors who are apparently Jewish and people were, well, I don't even understand what Zionist is. Like, I don't get it. I just don't understand racism at all. I really don't. I do and I don't. I don't like to be hurt, that's for sure, but who does? But I'm telling you, you get bit too many times, it can turn you numb, just so numb. And I just don't know, if somebody if somebody I cared about and loved was unalived in front of me in the fashion of Charlie Kirk, I wouldn't be glowing 5 days later on his podcast. And his funeral was like a political convention. And I thought, what the F am I watching? Okay. So, anyways, if you liked anything I said, please hit like, share it with a friend. I know this is sort of a strange way of doing or conducting a podcast, but this is the way old radio was, you know? And I don't feel like being a face right now. Okay, that is a wrap. That is a wrap. And I hope you all have a great night. And Trevor, we will talk tomorrow about our live stream tomorrow. 100%. And we'll definitely be talking more because I have a very interesting idea for my next career move, as it were.